What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ryan Meyer's Expedition. Back out here with Justin Lee, and today we are looking for redemption. Last time I dove with him, it was an absolute disaster. I had sinus problems, I was shivering all day, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Disaster. So we're back out here again. We got our buddy David just visiting out here from Kauai. He's gonna come diving with us. Check out this whole nest Justin set up for my mom. How you doing?
See, it's fabulous. Look how beautiful.
There is a much larger than anticipated swell.
True.
That's gonna be fun. There's two things kind of on the agenda. The ranch owner asked for an uhu, about 2 to 3 pounds. My buddy Wayne, what Mauka, asked for an alua because he wants to make some alua sausage.
Done.
And then, you know, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people get kind of misstrued on this side is that roys are inedible. Well, on the Hamakua side, maybe it's a false cloak or whatever it is, but we eat them from down here. And my in-laws love them.
Their son-in-law here can get them any fish they want in the entire world. They would like some 2 to 3 pound roys. 2 to 3 pound roys are pretty amazing. You're right. You know, if you weren't thinking about the ciguatera, like there couldn't be a better fish to eat.
And we get to clean up the reef a little bit. So
That's it.
they like toal, ta'ape, and roy. They really, really do.
And goats.
And everything else we bring home, yes. But they are, I guess, an equal opportunist when it comes to eating fish.
There we go.
And they like the black one with the blue dots.
We got David out here visiting from Kauai. David, nobody gets to dive over here.
Right on. Just stoked to be here.
Sick. We're stoked to have you, man. We're stoked to have you. Maybe one of these days we get over to Kauai and we show you those local waters.
Kauai is amazing.
Till then, we'll see you guys in the water.
So right when we got in the water, it was David's turn, and I was like, there's a nice little pile of moo over here. Get down here to the bottom and see if you can't get in on them. But for you guys, this is a great example of how much more energy you burn by not going to the bottom than just going to the bottom. You can see his hand, he's got to use that to hold himself up. He's got to continuously kick to keep himself from sinking. He tries to close that gap, doesn't quite make it happen. Would have been a whole lot better off just waiting on the bottom for those fish to come over to him. So we moved from there right out into the deep water. This was probably like 95, 100 feet. And I get down here to the bottom and I want to look around, see what's there. I'm going to throw a couple grunts out here. And you'll see right away, a big giant alua comes right into my face. And I was kind of looking for an alua this day. You know, that was one of our target fish. And, you know, anytime, I really like to shoot these guys, and anytime somebody wants one, I'm like, yeah, I'll go look for one. But it was just way, way too early in the dive. And I didn't want to have to carry this thing around for the whole rest of the dive. So this one got a pass. I didn't have a really great shot on it anyways. It wasn't like he was sitting right there sniffing my face. So that was okay. And especially because I turned around and then out there over that rock, you'll see that big knife jaw. That knife jaw was clearly attracted to me on the bottom, to whatever that scratching or grunting I was doing. And you can see him kind of come over and just look like a freaking alien. Like the way that thing swims, he just like hovers back and forth there, kind of oscillating back and forth. And he gave me a nice little shot right there, stuck him in the face, was pumped, got a little bit redemption after that last trip that was such a struggle.
Redemption?
A little bit. When the ocean is too rough to get offshore, or you're out there bored with your uncle that never catches anything, you can now catch fish online right from your phone. Today's video is brought to you by Fishing Clash, an online mobile game where you can fish all over the world. I don't know about you, but for me, fishing is all about that thrill you get from having no idea what's on the end of your line. There are so many different places to fish, each with completely new fish that you never know what you will pull in. You can play alone or compete in weekly competitions and events. You can even create your own clan and play with your friends, competing against other players. Fishing Clash has an upcoming event, the Earth Week, from the 18th to the 25th of April, where the Amazon fishery will change from thriving rainforest to deforested and contaminated. It will be up to you to achieve special challenges to improve the fishery and fulfill event goals, which makes the game donate real money to Ecosia to combat rainforest deforestation. It has always been a dream of mine to go spearfishing in the Amazon, and support from companies like this get me one step closer to bringing that type of content to you. Support the channel and the Amazon by downloading the game with the link in my bio. Use my code FISHWITHRyanMyers to get a special reward worth $20 when you sign up as a new player. With my code, you will get a 3-star rod, 1 mythical lure, 50 luck power-ups, and 30 weight power-ups to help you catch bigger fish. To redeem the gift code, follow these 3 simple steps. Support the companies that support us and download Fishing Clash today.
Now, this next drop here is really freaking cool because it kind of shows the whole evolution of what a hunt should look like. And if you watched my last video, you saw how many ukus I saw and what I kept talking about, how I couldn't make it happen. And this was exactly a perfect example of how to make it happen. You know, he's there, he's coming in, he's on that upper left-hand side, and you can kind of pay attention to all the little micro moves that I make to turn this uku that I just spotted into an uku that I get to take home and eat for dinner. So he came in, a couple of those scratches and grunts. Now I'm gonna make a move and kind of adjust. I'm gonna come over here and hopefully he's gonna pop his head out right here around this corner and I'll be able to get a shot off. And he does. He pops in, he comes in to look, but again, not quite close enough to get me that shot within a single wrap that I'm really looking for. So again, pay attention to my movements here. I'm not going after him. If anything, I'm trying to present myself as less threatening than I was before. You know, I want to sink down into the rocks. I want to be a little bit smaller than I was. And then just when he's within range, I want to explode out, close that distance, close that gap, get a shot on him, and then keep him out of the reef. I have always been the guy to tell you that the sharks are really cautious. They don't want to bother you. They're not out there just swimming around, just chomping up every fish that's a little bit injured. They're usually really cautious. And for most of my life, they'll do a pass through 2, 3, 4 times looking at a fish before they come in super aggro and nail it. Well, this was a great humbling experience to kind of remind you that nobody has the ocean figured out, and certainly not sharks, and that they're super unpredictable and anything can happen out there.
What the hell?
Bro, that came in so fast.
That was a Bahamas shark, bro.
Don't put any fish around your waist over here.
That one really kind of shook up the whole group. From there, we were like, let's go shallower. And then we'll see if we can find some fish from there. And David struck first here with a really nice red uhu for the rancher.
There you go, nice uhu, man.
So honestly, this dive here was just gonna be looking in the gravel pits for a shell for Sam. You know, I already kind of had a couple fish. I was kind of stoked. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna go down here and see what's around. But this is a great example for you guys about how a fish reacts when you don't shoot it. When you don't shoot at something right away, it gives it the chance to get closer and closer and closer to you. You know, you always hear people say, oh, well, the fish know when you don't have a gun, when you're out there with the camera, or when you're out there just swimming around, how that fish got so close to you. Well, bro, that fish got so close to you because you didn't shoot at it while it was on its way in. So if you just wait, if you're patient down there, then those things will come all the way over to you and they'll give you that exact shot you're looking for. For me, right here, that were these kumus. You know, I don't see a lot of kumus out here in the world. You know, I'm pretty lucky to get a shot at a 3 or 4, maybe a year. So to see these things kind of come over, I was like, you know, hey, these guys look pretty much big enough. I was kind of hesitating. I really wanted to make sure that I got a stone shot, and I wanted to make sure that I had a really good eye on kind of how big these things were. And you can see how they're coming right into your face. They do not care because of the way that I'm acting. Because I'm so non-threatening that they're cruising around and they're just looking at me as if I'm a turtle down there. Totally non-threatening. I can take the time to pick out the exact one that I want, to shoot it in the exact spot that I want, get it in the brain, get it in the head, not ruin any meat, and have a delicious fish for somebody to eat here.
You shoot him that small?
So now that we moved into the good eats portion of our dive, Justin struck next with, without a doubt, possibly one of the biggest munus or black kumus or Joe Louis goats that any of us have ever seen.
It's a stud. Bigger than my kumu.
Next dive here, again, shocked to see another kumu. Definitely not the same one that I had seen before. We kind of moved off a little bit, but I already had one. This one was again about that same size, but still really cool to get to dive this zone and see some of these really special fish that you definitely just don't get to see all over the island. So this dive kind of upset me from start to finish. I was like, Justin, there's a nice Roy down there, why don't you go stick it? And I dropped my gun so that I could better film him and not be encumbered by it. But my gun just happened to lay over where Justin was gonna go hide anyways. So Justin gets down to the bottom, he's kind of scouting it out, he's looking around, you can see kind of how unbelievably comfortable this dude looks. He's got his knees down low, his arms up over the rock, so he's kind of mostly camouflaged, mostly hidden with his body shape. And you can kind of look over across from him and kind of make a game plan for that Roy. And for whatever reason, this dude is sitting here deciding that he's gonna shoot his nice fancy shaft into that rock, and then he gets the bright idea of, you know what, maybe I'll just take Ryan's shaft and I'll shoot that shaft into the rock. And I've always been a huge fan of, you know, a shaft is disposable. It's a tool, it's kind of like a bullet or an arrow. Justin does not feel that way. So he grabs mine, shoots it straight into the rock here, and like karma, hits him right away, and he completely whiffs on this Roy.
I don't want to spear my shaft.
I was like, just blast mine into the rocks, why don't you? You redeeming yourself from last trip or what?
Yeah. Just doing it all over again. We're gonna go shoot an Alua right now.
We're pretty lucky to have a lot of access to aluas, which are kind of like the trophy fish out here in Hawaii. They're the king of the reef. And luckily, I get to dive a lot of spots where I do encounter them quite a bit. And for every one that I shoot, I probably see 10. But anytime someone's like, hey, I really need an Alua, especially when it's your good friend Wayne, then we're like, okay, game on, we're gonna go find one. So Justin gets down here to this nice Alua cave where we've shot him out of before, and kind of creeps down through the side, wants to stay hidden because most of these Alua caves have back entrances. So if you go down and you bust right into this cave, those Aluas are gonna bust out the other side. Instead, real nice and calm, cruised along the edge, laid up here. Should have been a big Alua in that cave, but again, like everything in life, as soon as you want it, it's not there. So a great, beautiful dive to end our day. Now it was time to go find some pigs.
Well, guys, sick little dive there. It's always a freaking joy to get over on this side of the island, especially to go out with Justin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's still, I think, I hate to be a man of excuses, but I think that
I would have said it was your shaft after you missed. After you missed twice, I'd be like, guaranteed your shaft, bro.
yeah, and then today,
Missed a few more times today.
a few more times that I should have got.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was this one time where I was feeling good, laying on the bottom, found a great hiding spot. There's a pile of moo coming in slowly, and all of a sudden, just when they're about to be within range, they just turned away, and I was like, what the hell? And I looked behind me, and this homeboy is swimming back up to the surface.
No, way worse than that, bro. You're on your way down. I'm like, I'm gonna go. And so I'm behind you. And then I land on the wrong side of the rock. And then I'm like, I'm gonna crawl. There's no reason to even be down here if I'm not gonna be able to see him. So I crawled around the rock. And then I come around like all sneaky like. And then I'm like, crap. He's doing the full moo dive. His face is down, bird in the sand. And I'm like 2 feet up off the bottom looking at him. And then I drop my camera. And then I'm like fumbling for the camera. And I'm like, this is, and I'm watching all the moo like laughing. Poor Justin is like got his face in the sand.
That's what it is. That all makes so much sense now.
Yeah, the cameraman.
Jeez.
But found a sick knife jaw. Found that, how ridiculous was that uku?
Yeah.
Uku, awesome hunt. I cannot wait to go see that footage. But then it just got, that was not a Hawaiian shark. That shark was lost. That was.
The crazy thing is from the surface, you can see your Myers because it's
Okay.
only white black you can see down, and the water was relatively clean out there. So you could see him lying like this and then like this, and I'm like,
Moving
as soon
all
as he
around.
started moving around, I was like, bro, it's gotta be an uku, and he's just trying to get the right
I
thing.
moved like 3 different times. Like
Yeah.
because I'm still feeling really bad. And I'm like, my shooting was better today, but I'm still feeling really uncomfortable. My sinuses are screwed up. So I didn't go to the right spot at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I was one ledge up. Where like normally I never would have made that mistake. I'd always go to the bottom, and then you would have been in the right spot for that uku, just in case that uku came through. And then because he came through, then I had to go to that right spot. But it was an extra step.
But he put a great shot on it. The fish fought, went out, was perfect. I swam down. I thought it was a little low at first, so I went down to go check it, and it looked great. It wrapped around a coral head, and then it freed itself up, and I was like, sick. And I started to swim back up to the surface. And I took a breath, I laughed at it, I was like, yeah, and I put my head back down, I was like, oh!
Bro, I
and
was
then the laughing started.
I was staring right at that thing. I cannot wait to see that footage. I mean, like, it came in a million miles an hour and didn't even hesitate. Like, I always tell everybody, I'm like, no, the sharks won't hurt you, sharks won't hurt you. Like, they'll come in and they'll do like 10 passes before they ever take a fish. Well, that shark did not do any
That shark
pass.
did not follow that plan at all.
And right through the spine, I mean, total devastation on this uku. Let's go see this thing. Couple stud Joes. Little kumu.
We got the rancher's uhu.
There we go.
It's perfect.
A little moo, but look at the devastation on this thing. I mean, left me a lot of meat, but almost fully through the whole fish.
It did.
Through
It's
the
just holding on by the
spine,
skin.
through everything. I mean, look at that. Came through like nothing. Nailed it.
The only thing that saved his uku was his shot. He shot it, his shaft was right here. So I think when the fish came to bite, or the shark came to bite, he bit the shaft, didn't like that, started
Left.
shredding, and then disappeared for the rest of the dive.
I really expected more trouble from that shark, honestly. Most of the time, once they kind of come through and they grab a taste of something, they're not going away. Like they're gonna bother you the whole rest of the dive until maybe you shoot at them or poke them or really scare them away. But he came through, he didn't like that shaft, and he was out of there. Stoked diving with you, man.
Thank you.
It was good to finally meet you. I mean, this is one of those guys like I only know kind of online through Instagram. He sent me those.
He sent us some umami stuff, and then he freaking
Umai.
made, was it umai? Umai bags, umami, same thing. And he made some freaking pork candy jerky thing that I ate almost the whole bag before I went diving today. It was amazing. And then he dropped off some smoked meat and some fresh sausage. Freaking homeboy's on it.
That's one of the coolest things about this whole YouTube, online, Instagram thing is like meeting guys like this and then getting to kind of share this zone with them, and maybe we'll get over to Kauai and he'll share his zone with us.
Just glad I got one uhu to contribute to the rancher.
Now for my favorite part of any Justin Lee expedition. I'm taking this wetsuit off, I'm putting my camo on. Big 30. That was a freaking perfect shot. David, incredible. That is a huge pig. Surf and turf. Guys, first hunt ever with my mother. How cool is this? Mom, how is it finding out where your meat comes from?
I was on the pigs team.
You were, you're like, I'm
my-
rooting for the pig.
Look at the cows go.
Yeah.
It's beautiful here. It's wonderful. This
It's
is the place
gorgeous.
to get the meat.
This
I
is
understand.
it. This is where it should come from.
Yes.
You're gonna get some meat. This is the place. That's not for you. It's not for you, Elizabeth. So that was a 6 surf and turf mission there. I got Justin coming back over the house. I gotta show you guys what we're cooking. I took the back straps off of that boar and I took the fillets off of that knife jaw. I'm gonna cook both up tonight. They're gonna be fantastic. What are you guys doing? This is not for you. I've literally already fed both of you. What's crazy is that my 2 cats literally snubbed their nose at this knife jaw. We've been having a crazy week of harvesting and they've been eating the ahi all week long. And they come up on the cutting board and they're like, oh, what are you cutting? Where's the ahi? Where's the ahi? And they're not interested. It's kind of incredible. They have a couple bites of the knife jaw, but not at all like they do with the ahi.
Get your pork back straps, bro.
Right? Sashimi grade.
Yeah, why is there no fat on it?
Because you have to cut off the fat.
Why do you have to cook?
Because isn't the fat and the silver skin the same thing? You just
No.
How is the fat? The fat is on the other side of the silver skin.
Yeah.
So how do you
leave it?
You just
leave
cook
the
the whole
fat
thing.
on it, yeah.
I didn't know how to do that. Anyways, check this out, guys. I'm making a charcuterie board here with a bunch of those umai things.
What was that word?
Charcuterie? Look at that.
Charcuterie.
Have you ever seen that?
Bro, that looks
Really
amazing.
good.
Right?
That looks really, really good.
It is really good.
I am impressed, Ryan.
Look at that. You ready?
Yes.
We got the 7-day cured
10-day dried, fresh knife jaw. I stole this from Asa. This is remember
You made a board earlier. Where is that?
Josh, I already ate it. this is some of that umai dry salami from David. And that's a backstrap.
Yeah, you see that?
But where would the
silver lining is right inside of that.
and you just cut right there.
You just cut through. Can I eat it?
Eat it.
Bro, it's really good.
Isn't that crazy? Like anything you ever had?
No. It's like cold smoke, but not.
Yeah, a little bit of liquid smoke.
That's very good.
Right?
Very good. I'm impressed.
So for the pork, I'm gonna take this from Honke Outdoors. It says squealer, made for pork. I'm gonna do it kind of like a rub with a bunch of bacon grease, throw it on the cast iron skillet, sear it a little bit, and then throw it in the oven. For the knife jaw, I'm gonna do one of my favorite simple recipes. I actually stole this from Sam's mom so long ago, and it's become a staple in our house. It's Italian breadcrumbs mixed with like a slightly melted butter. It becomes like this like pasty type thing. You can put it on top, layer it on top of the fish, throw it in the oven, and it like bakes down into the fish, gets all buttery, is fantastic. Super easy, requires 2 ingredients, throw it in the oven, no big deal, feed a bunch of people, don't even have to think about it again.
All
right, guys, so my mom,
All
right, guys,
It just occurred to me.
All right, guys, so my mom is kind of a vegan-y, doesn't eat a lot of meat, right?
Exactly.
Saw her first animal die ever. Like, I took her hunting, we killed this pig, it was beautiful, it died right away, it did its job, it was amazing. I have now cooked it, taken care of it, everything. Mother, take a bite of your first real meat.
The Wilbur.
That's it, Wilbur. She keeps calling it Wilbur, guys.
It's very good. Very grateful to Wilbur. Thank you. Ooh, the fish that
We passed the test there on the turf portion of our dinner. Let's check the surf. Now this is that knife jaw again with the Angie Mae's recipe, Italian breadcrumbs mixed with butter, baked on top.
Very good. Very, very good.
Which one do you like better?
Fish. Sorry.
All right, guys, surf and turf there. Some of that wild Hawaiian boar. That is freaking good. That Honke Outdoor, I guarantee I'm saying that wrong. Seasoning was delicious. The seasoning was, that was fantastic. All right, and this knife jaw, which is definitely one of my favorite eating fish. You can't beat the knife jaw. Knife jaw's incredible.
It's very good.
Some wild boar.
Definitely can taste the boar taste in it.
Really? I didn't have it so much.
Yeah. And it's spicy, which is nice. But it's really, really good and really soft. So very impressed. But actually, I thought it was going to be dry, but it is not dry.
Well, you put enough butter on it or something.
Oh, yeah. That's so good. It's such a clean, full flavored fish. And then the butter with the breadcrumbs. You knocked it out of the park, man.
The Angie Mae's breadcrumb butter recipe is truly fantastic. That's a staple. That's gonna be a staple in our house forever. Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching this incredible catch and cook of the surf and turf. Definitely my favorite Hamakua days. Go over there, dive in the morning, hunt in the afternoon, bring it all back, share it with friends and family. That was awesome. Like this video if you haven't already. Check out our merch, and we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Meyer's Expeditions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, support the companies that support us. Click the link in the bio, download Fishing Class today.